Hello, my name is Dan,
My name is Lucy.
and this is Reality Check, the podcast for all things reality. We just got done watching the first episode of Survivor 44, like 10 minutes ago.
10 minutes. Yeah, we've literally
And
just finished.
before we get right into it, before I say anything, if you have not watched the premiere episode, go and watch it. Obviously, we're going to be discussing it here, so there will be spoilers. So if you want to avoid those spoilers, watch this episode as soon as you've finished the premiere. All right. So,
Yes.
what an episode. Yeah.
Yeah. Woo.
The thing is, we ended at the tribal council, and we're gonna have to talk through
Yeah.
the whole episode first. But
Yeah. No, that was a whole epic. That was like a movie.
That was insane. So the game starts.
Yeah.
And they're all coming up to the island.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just kind of talking. We get to see Carson immediately. Carson is cool.
Yeah, we love Carson.
I think it starts out with
the second?
Carolyn. But...
Yeah, I actually wanted to say that was a really cool way to like introduce the season. Like I feel like we don't get anything like that normally.
Mm-hmm.
It was quite unique,
almost like a big epic start, but all of a sudden,
yeah. I love the even now the editing team is still trying new things. I love how creative they're being.
Yes,
so, yay.
Oh my gosh, yeah. A few things in general about the episode and season right now. Now, if for any of you who know me, which isn't probably many of you, I have never complained about like any season of Survivor for almost every I know there are a lot of things that a decent amount of Survivor fans criticize about the show. I just can't find anything. I love everything they do.
Yeah.
And this new editing, ever since season 41, I love what they're doing with that. I love the casting. It's been amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, it's been really good. And as a newer fan, I've basically only really been following along since Survivor 41, so I don't really know any different, but I am absolutely loving it. So
yeah.
Great for fans, new and old.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's amazing about Survivor. You can always get into it at any time. So yeah, they start off with Carolyn doing her little confessional thing. And then they're going on the island. It's a normal major introduction thing. So
Survivor music intensifies.
Yeah. Great.
They pull up to the beach and immediately, was it Jamie? Falls off the boat.
Yep.
Which, if anything, that's like foreshadowing for how this episode is about to go.
Yeah.
That was quite, honestly, one of the most shambolic episodes I've ever watched.
Yeah, it's a great episode. Oh, there's so much in it.
So let's unpack, I guess.
Do you want to start with Jeff starts talking to the cast and go ahead?
Yeah, so we get the classic. You there in the front. I quite liked. Was it Matthew was saying that his heart was going to explode over the front row? It kind of laughed. It made me laugh that he said front row like they were at the opera or something. They didn't spend too long doing that, to be honest. I feel like we only heard from a few. We heard from Yam Yam, Matthew, I think one of the girls. I forget who. Yeah, it felt like that was a pretty short thing.
Yeah,
and it feels like we.
And
I guess
I think we'll do that too. So
yeah.
Anyways, so for this first challenge, they put everyone on the tribes. They go in pairs, and they have to go under these wooden beams a few times. One of which is through a mud pit to collect puzzle pieces. They bring back the puzzle pieces. Then they form a puzzle, and as they're just starting this challenge, 30 seconds in. Lucy, you can confirm this. I said, I think I would hit my head on one of those beams.
Yeah, I think you said something towards of, wow, it looks so easy to hit your head on those beams. Yeah. Something like that. You literally said that, and I was thinking it too. I was like, they are kind of close. I would be scared of, they were really diving for
when
those
you're
things.
running
I would have to,
Yeah, because it's not too tight to the ground, but you have to crawl under it. So if you're running and sprinting at it, you could easily hit your head.
Yeah, and they were like diving under it. So I would stop, I would cutely squat down and like get on my knees and like press myself down and then crawl nicely, but there's no time for that in Survivor.
Yeah.
So yes, I can absolutely confirm you did say that. And 10 seconds later,
Yeah.
I forgot the guy's name.
Bruce.
Bruce clonks himself. He
Yeah.
clonks himself,
It
and
was bad.
immediately there is blood.
Yeah.
So,
It was rough.
Yeah, we kind of freaked out. We saw that and we're like, oh, like that. Yeah, like instantly that looked bad.
Yeah, and he kept going at first. Like
he did.
He hit his head.
He hesitated for a second. He was like,
yeah. He let the person that was gonna go after him go through, and then he just like paused, and then he did it, and he just went through. And
half of me is like,
area,
half. I feel like we were both the same. Like half of us was like, what a hero, you know, he's still going, and the other half was like, stop. Stop doing that.
I was saying, like, Survivor has an amazing medical team, and they do great at keeping their players safe. I think that maybe should have been something they looked into, like even getting a band-aid on him quick and then letting him go. I know it really interrupts the flow of the challenge, but
no, absolutely,
it was
especially right at the beginning. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway,
I feel like if it had been any other challenge, like some sort of individual immunity challenge, they would have just stopped it. But I feel like because we were like 30 seconds into the first ever immunity challenge, I feel like they were a bit more hesitant to reward challenge. They were a bit more hesitant maybe to just completely stop it straight away and disrupt the flow of the So yeah, we were both saying like they should probably stop and have a look at him, or at least like, you know, pull him to the side.
Even if
but
it's just,
you know,
clean it and get something on it, because it was there was blood on his face at this point. Like
exactly. And then he was going through the mud, so it's like you were saying like it's probably not a good idea to get mud in that.
Yeah, I mean, that was like the biggest moment of the challenge.
I don't really remember.
So yeah, they had to do their puzzle with the puzzle pieces, and after that they had to like launch these rings off of this long pole, which
it was.
And
I don't think there's much to say in between the rings, to be honest. But it was purple. Is that Taku? No.
What?
I forget the names of the tribes. Purple finished first on the jigsaw.
Yes, but I do want to add. I think when they were doing the jigsaw, I think this was around the time where Bruce did fall, and they had to stop the challenge. And which he was just standing there watching them do the puzzle at this point, and he just got lightheaded, which is fair. Like,
I would do the same, to be honest.
No, but really, they had medical checkup on him, and they got him up pretty fast. But
that was a bit of a scary moment, to be honest.
That was the scarier one. His eyes were closed and everything. Like, he seemed out for a bit, but they got him Band-Aid and they got him standing up, and Jeff let him restart the challenge. That was nice.
That was so sweet. Yeah.
But yeah, then the puzzles, as you were saying, Purple Tribe, Tika.
Yes.
They got
Tika. That's the one. And why did I say Taku? That was 42, wasn't it?
Yeah, all of the names are very similar. It's Tika, Ratu, and Soda.
Tika.
So it's totally fair to get those mixed up.
Yeah. I think I mixed Ratu and Tika to make Taku. Anyway,
but the thing with the rings, you have to like, it's like a really tall pole, and you have to launch these rings vertically up and off the pole, and 3 tribe members have to do this. So Tika finished their puzzle first, and Lucy, if you want to go ahead and take it from there.
Yes. So Carolyn, our poor girl, who we were introduced to at the start, she picks up her ring and she starts, tossing it up in the air, trying to get it over, and oh no, she can't do it. And honestly, I would not be able to do that. And to all the viewers, the listeners, do not think that this is me laughing at her for not being able to do it, because I see myself in this woman, I would not even get it halfway up. My arms are like little noodles. Yeah, I would not. And I'd be screaming and running every time it started falling down. So So yeah, I mean, she was really trying. I really felt for her as well because you could see she was really trying. Like she even took her
Yeah.
pants off. Um, sounded too American trying to say that. No, I didn't. Um, I don't. Yeah, we call them trousers here in the UK. So she took her trousers off, for full stretch, and then she actually did. She got like one of her hoops like halfway up, and then she couldn't get it all the way. At this
Yeah.
point, the orange and the green tribes come along, and they start like getting them really quick. So we're starting to think, oh, this is
few of them
a
were, like,
struggle for
first try and
Carolyn.
everything, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately, Green Tribe, Soka, they took the win, which means they got their supplies first. And then, what was different about this season compared to the past 3 seasons, they had a second place finisher, and that was the Orange
Yes.
Ratu Tribe. And they got to make the sole decision whether they would do Sweat or Savvy, and they would leave the other one to the Tika Tribe.
Yeah. And I've got to say, I really like that. I really like
No,
that they did that. I
yes.
think that's really cool because not
It makes
only
the
does it
challenge
add a bit
longer,
more,
and
yeah, it added more strategy to it in terms of which one they pick because they know the other tribe is going to be forced to do the other one. And also, it makes sure like we as viewers get to see them both happen because I think in the
Exactly.
past we've just seen 2 lots of Savvy.
We've seen them do both.
We've seen Sweat
given
before, but
point.
I feel like Savvy.
Last season they both did Savvy, if I remember correctly.
And I also seem to think 42 they both did Savvy as well.
Yeah, Savvy was very popular.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But the ones that got to choose actually went for Sweat, leaving the purples to Savvy. I guess I'll ask you, what would you pick?
It's tough because you can't see Savvy and you get so much less time. Like, so just for you, for the audience, you've seen the episode, but the Sweat was you had to drag coconuts back and forth and put them in the net. If you haven't seen the episode, stop watching and go watch the episode. Unless, but anyway.
No, keep watching. That's okay. We love viewers. You know?
Exactly. They had to put coconuts in the net and drag the net back and forth between the piles of coconut. They had to alternate each one. So it got really heavy really fast. And then the Savvy was covered, but they had 15 minutes to deduce how many rings were in these little 2 spheres. Which honestly, I think that was fairly easy. Like if you're looking at it in person. But yeah, I don't know. I probably would have gone. Personally, I would have rather done Savvy, but I feel like Sweat is the safest option because Sweat, it's not like you get it right or wrong. You either do it in the time or you don't because they had 4 hours to do this, and it seems like they did close,
cut it kind of close. Yeah, it looked like they did.
Yeah. The only other thing, which you mentioned, if you do Savvy, that's only going to take 15 minutes, and you can spend the rest of the time with your tribe.
Yeah, so I was about to touch on that. So you said you'd probably go for Sweat as the safer option.
Yeah.
I would go for Savvy again purely because yes, we might get it wrong, but you want because otherwise you've got 2 tribe mates completely wearing themselves out for 4 hours. Even there's a chance they could still fail. Firstly, well, I'm not very strong, so I would have leaned towards Savvy anyway. I would have been no use dragging those coconuts. So for me, the choice is easy, but even as watching them make the decision, you kind of want to tell them to do Savvy almost if there's only a 15-minute timer for it, because, give it 15 minutes. That's clearly no one's going to be making huge alliances without you for all that time. It's not going to affect the game so much, and then you can all get to work on the shelter right away. So that, to me, Savvy was the obvious choice there, but they didn't go for it.
They went for Sweat, leaving Tika with Savvy.
And then we had
for Sweat. You've got
Savvy.
No, on Ratu Orange Tribe, they did Sweat. And I just wanted to say
I think we're gonna have to call them by their colors because I have not got there yet.
Orange Tribe did Sweat, and the 2 biggest guys did it basically. It was Brandon and Matthew. Matthew, who honestly
that was really interesting.
Person on the season. No, Bruce is the oldest. It is the oldest. Yeah, whatever.
Was
Matthew was the oldest.
Our good friend Bruce.
And he's like, I want to prove myself. I want to show that I can do this. I want to show that I can be useful. And they did it. There wasn't much to show. They really bonded over it. They're like, I got your back. But yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. They didn't, like they said in the thing, they didn't really get to talk game. However, they both were kind of like, yeah, I've got your back. So
they were both like on the ground at the end of that. Like that, it was brutal, and it got really heavy really fast.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's to be expected, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, do you want to talk about Tika and their experience with Savvy?
Yeah, so we
Purple?
had immediately Carson got like typecast as the nerd. I don't know if typecast is the word, but the girl, I've completely forgot her name.
Volunteered.
Helen.
Like,
Yeah, so Helen stepped up. She's like, I love puzzles. And everyone else is kind of like, oh, I don't know if I could do it. And everyone just looks at Carson, and he's like, you know, a short guy with glasses, and he looks like a bit of a nerd. So everyone's like, Carson, and he's kind of like, oh no. So yeah, I mean, he said he didn't want to volunteer for that, so mission accomplished because he didn't. But yeah, I think that was very smart for him not to just speak up and be like, yeah, I'm the puzzle guy, I'm really smart. So yeah, and then they got to it, and honestly, they solved it pretty quick. It didn't seem like they struggled much at all. Again, like you said, it was a pretty easy puzzle. Yeah, I mean, as soon as they unveiled it, I literally said, oh, that's easy. I did then realize you can't actually go up and touch it because I would have just started tracing my fingers around all the circles. But even then, just standing like a few meters back, you know, it's still pretty easy.
Something like what they have there, it's definitely easy, like as long as you like stay calm. Because if you just start trying to count it and count everything on there, you're gonna mess up. But how they did it was like, you know, was a calmer approach, and it was definitely the right way to do it, which got them there pretty easily. And they knew that both things had to be the same. So like there was 9 on one and 9 on the other. So
yeah.
So
yeah, great work from those two, really.
Yeah.
Smashed it.
During this part of the game, we've got Orange Tribes doing sweat.
Sorry to interrupt. It was a really funny moment. They started cheering because they'd got it right, and like the other tribe members just came running because they just knew.
Yeah. But yeah. During this part of the game, of the first episode, Orange was doing sweat, Purple was doing savvy, and pretty much every tribe has been exploring their camp, and they discovered these bird cages, which had the bag that they had no idea what was in them.
Yes.
And I think that is kind of the next thing to talk about, because we don't get a challenge for a bit.
Right.
The only tribe to do something with this was the Orange tribe. Lucy, do you want to talk about how that went? Because this was pretty significant to the episode.
So they decided to split into groups. Wait, so didn't this happen when one of them was on the voyage?
Oh, it did. I guess we should talk about the voyage then.
Yeah, let's touch on the voyage.
Bird cages, which they knew they needed to find a key. That was the main thing.
But they all kind of left it right away. They all kind of saw them and were like, okay, back to camp. And then the boats pull up at each camp. Obviously, you know, we recognize. Well, my first thought when I saw a boat, I was like, "Oh no, Jeff's coming." After seeing what happened with Bruce, I was like, "Oh gosh, what now?" But no, it was just a journey. So they had one person from each tribe had to pick. So 2 tribes actually went for drawing the short straw, which is interesting because normally they all do something different, which is fun. And then was it the Orange tribe? They had they did rocks, and was it Laura?
It was Lauren. I think
Lauren. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Lauren. Okay. She started like she basically rigged it so that she would get the one that let her go, which honestly, slay.
Yeah, that was like villain moments right there.
Yeah. So
otherwise,
she went for Orange.
She went for Orange. Sarah went for Purple, and Matt Blankenship, the green Matt, went for Green.
Yeah. With slightly curly hair.
Yeah. So they all went And, we thought this was going to be similar to previous summit stuff. Like, they all go on a little journey, and then they have to make this decision either in front of each other or not in front of each other. And that decision is usually something like, okay, if you risk your vote and they don't, you get an advantage. But this time, they each had to choose one of 3 paths to go down, so they each went down a different path. And when they got there, they were told they had to pick from these 3 things. One of them was an advantage, and 2 of them would make you lose your vote. Everyone had to pick at least once. They didn't get a choice in that. But if they lost their vote, they were allowed to pick again, so they would have a 50-50 shot at the advantage. But if they then got the lose your vote again, they would lose their votes for the next 2 tribal councils. So, do you want to take us through what they did for that, Lucy?
For how they lied?
Stuff. No, the picking.
Oh.
What did they do?
Okay, yeah. I mean, they just picked the stuff out.
Okay, start with Sarah. What did Sarah do from purple?
Yeah, she went in and pulled one out. Lost her vote. And then she was like, well, I'll take another one. So she took another one, and she got the inheritance advantage, which I love the sound of. That is too powerful, but I love it. So that was exciting.
Okay. Also, looking at the wiki for something, this one says this advantage allows its holder to pocket all advantages and hidden immunity idols that are played at any tribal council.
Like they can use it.
So I think they get the thing. They don't play it. They get it.
According
to the wiki. I don't know. Obviously, I don't think Jess can.
So they could.
Anything, but...
Well, they could pocket it and then play it, right? Surely.
Yeah.
Like say it was, I don't know, some random. Say person A plays an idol. Person B, who has this inheritance thing, plays their inheritance thing, takes the idol, and then they play it. But they could also choose not to play it.
I don't know if they have to announce that they're gonna play it before stuff is played, or I don't quite know. I don't. It's a mystery right now how the inheritance.
I hope we get to find out, basically, because that is a very creative advantage. We immediately said that is really creative. So yeah. So go, Sarah.
And then we saw Matt. What did Matt do?
So Matt pulled one. He lost his vote. Matt pulled another. And he lost his vote. So
yeah.
Oh, poor Matt, he was it was not his moment.
We don't know what his advantage would have been because they were all
different. We don't. I kind of wish they'd shown us, but maybe it will come back somewhere.
Yeah, maybe. All right, and then what did Lauren do?
So Lauren pulled straight away the extra vote. Not the extra vote.
The bank.
Yeah, the bank your vote. Yeah.
So bank
which allows vote. You to.
Yep, go for it.
Yeah, bank your vote basically. you save your vote. You don't vote, and then you
get
do vote.
Okay. You refrain from voting at the tribal council you're at, and then you take that parchment, and that is now an extra vote that you can use at any time. So yeah, that's the bank your vote. But yeah, what's also significant is they come back and they all have different stories to tell because obviously they didn't get a chance to coordinate. So I think let's talk about Sarah first.
Yeah, so Sarah had the best story. So she came along and said, it was kind of like the things from previous seasons that they've seen, where you pull the wheel one way or the other. She basically said that she's not sure right now whether she's gonna have her vote or not, which I think is a very, very valid way to lie about it. So that's what she said. They seemed to buy it, and that was that. So I said at the time that was a really good lie. So
now
yeah, she was convincing.
Oh yeah, go ahead if you have anything else.
No, you go for it. It's fine.
I'm gonna argue that Matt played it better actually.
Well, Matt didn't have anything to hide.
Yeah, he didn't have much to hide. He had something to hide, though. He came back, and he's like, so we had to pull these things, and he reveals the thing that said you lost your vote. He shows the actual thing, which is very good credibility-wise. What he doesn't do is he specifically leaves out the fact that he lost another vote. Which, yeah, which that's also fair because like
Yep.
if you can't vote for 2 tribal councils and you're on a tribe of 6, you're not very useful. And I feel like there's no point in making an alliance with someone who can't vote for 2 votes on a tribe like that, because you would need to get
Exactly.
2 other people. So yeah, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It was easier for him because he didn't come out of it with anything good.
Yeah.
He didn't have
But
like
again, the way he did it was very good.
yeah,
Like showing them
yeah,
thing, that was great.
exactly. And then Lauren, good old Lauren. I mean, I imagine in her head it makes a good lie, but basically what she said was that we would draw out of the bag, and you would either you lose your vote, or you would get something that lets you bank a vote, which she said as a description at first, but it was basically
Yeah.
bank a vote. And so yeah, that's fair. The issue is everyone got something different, and then she proceeded to say she lost her vote anyways. So yeah, Lucy, what did you think of Lauren's story there?
She really did not tell that one well,
Yeah.
in my opinion. So she
Mhm.
was basically like, she told them she knew what the weird special advantage was, which is really weird, first of
Mhm.
all. And then she said that she lost her vote outright
Mhm.
rather than, yeah. So it was just a bit of a confusing story, really.
Mhm.
Um, Especially when you think about the fact that her advantage suggests that for it to become powerful, she needs to not vote at this tribal. So if anyone on that tribe puts 2 and 2 together, they're gonna come to 4, which is the
Mhm.
answer that she's been lying to them.
Okay. Yeah, the thing is, and the big thing is, they're gonna, given that she said that advantage specifically, they're gonna
Yeah,
expect her not to vote at their first tribal council. Whether it's because
yeah,
she lost her vote or because she's pocketing a vote, they're expecting her not to vote. But which could be good on her part. Like if they don't see a vote, they can be like, oh, she just lost her vote. But then they can also be like, wait a second, what if she has an extra vote? And
yeah,
the thing is, knowing that she's not voting, you get free votes on her and she's gone.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, um, I think that's pretty much it to mention with. No, it's not. We skipped over it a bit. Lauren
Mm.
leaves for the summit, and
Ah,
the rest of
yes.
the tribe was like, "Hey, let's go looking for that key." And I love how it seemed like it was really quick after she left that they decided to do that, like immediately when she was gone.
They were
Yeah.
like, so what shall we do?
So how did that go, Lucy?
So that, yeah, they split into groups. This is what we were going to mention earlier.
Mm-hmm.
They were in a 3 and a 2, I think.
Mm-hmm. The
And
two. Yep. Go. Yep. Go ahead.
it was
The two was
Brandon
yes.
and Maddie.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I just had to scroll on the
No, you're
wiki to
good.
find them. Their names. I'm not great with names. But yeah, Brandon and Maddie were together.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Brandon's having a little rummage around in the undergrowth when he finds the key. So that was pretty quick. So we were like, oh, go on, Brandon. Now he's not very stealthy with it.
Mm-hmm.
He
Maddie
wasn't
was
very
pretty
slick.
close. Like she
And
saw.
Maddie was pretty observant too, so she basically yeah, she sees him and she kind of sees when he bends out, like she thinks he's acting weird, and then she sees something in his pocket. She's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
he's got it. So we're all kind of thinking, oh, Maddie can just go and tell everyone that he's found it. And then Brandon's like, okay, he pretty much figures out that she knows. So then he kind of lies that he just found it somewhere else. And Maddie's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, cool. And initially they're kind of like, oh, let's tell everyone. And then Maddie's like, oh, actually, what if we keep it secret for just us? And Brandon's like, no. And then he goes and tells the whole group, and they open up the cage in front of everyone. He pulls it out, and inside we have
A hidden immunity idol
ta-da!
with a fake idol that theoretically you could replace it with the fake idol and just hang it back in the cage as if nothing happened.
Yes.
So you could theoretically get the idol without anyone knowing it was gone. But yeah. The thing is, the entire tribe except for Lauren was there. So everyone knew he had this idol. Um Along with that, it kind of set up that Maddie and Brandon were never going to be on the same side and that they weren't going to work
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, because Maddie basically she was very observant in noticing, well, if Brandon doesn't want to keep this secret between us, clearly he doesn't want to work with me because,
Mhm.
from Brandon's perspective, that's a really great opportunity to make a strong duo with someone with a hidden idol between the two of you. You've
Yeah.
just got to put your trust in that person at that point, and he didn't take that opportunity. So personally, in my opinion, bad move from Brandon.
Yeah.
And Maddie, I think she did nothing wrong there. I honestly she was observant in noticing that Brandon had found the key, but she didn't call him out on it. She waited for him to say it, which worked out for her. She gently suggested they kept it secret between them, which any good player would do on Survivor. Because I mean, initially Brandon was going to try and keep it completely secret because he wasn't going to tell Maddie. It's not like he did anything that she wasn't. I mean, she did anything that he wasn't about to do. So it would make sense for them to keep it secret together. But for some reason, he just did not want to work with her.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucked because, yeah, I would want to work with Maddie. So yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously Maddie was kind of burned by that a bit. So
yeah, he made a good move, like telling her, but then I think he fought too quick and decided to tell the whole tribe a bit too early. I think they should have kept it secret.
Yeah, he must have got like the high from telling Maddie and was like, right, she likes me now. The whole tribe is gonna like me if I tell them.
No, there's also the fact that if him and Maddie did keep it a secret, Maddie could just try to use that against him. Maybe he was thinking about that.
But,
yeah.
But in my opinion, bad choice by Brandon there.
I agree. Anyways, not much happens except we cut to nighttime, and Bruce is there, and he's just not looking good, and he.
To be honest, this may well have happened before the journeys.
It might have. I don't know. It was some night.
It was night. It was the first night.
If you want to know, you can go watch the episode. Bruce went, and his head was really hurting.
And he was kind of quiet
on the beach, and he wasn't saying anything, and he just kind of knew at that point. I'm pretty sure, but they called medic over, and pretty quickly they decided that they needed to pull him and get some medical tests done. We found out at the challenge that he's perfect, that he's okay, and he was fine.
So that was our second appearance from Mr.
the medical guy. Yeah, I don't know what his name is.
Yeah.
But...
You know what? We did miss something else actually from the Ratu Orange tribe. Matthew's little adventure.
Oh, I think that was after Bruce, but yeah.
Yeah, but that was also before they found the idol. Before Brandon found the idol. Yeah, it was because he was walking around with a sling.
Okay. Anyways, yeah.
And I was like, how do you hunt for something with one arm?
So Matthew's going around, and it's, he found crabs in these rafts. He's just doing all the survival stuff that he's super excited to do, and he loves being outside. And we got this really nice confessional about it. Then
la 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 la.
Yeah. Then it's gonna take too long for him to lose his grip and fall kind of off a rock, where at a time he dislocated his shoulder and got a few cuts that weren't great. Which sucked. And he gave this really heartfelt confessional about how he didn't want his game to end there, and how he didn't, how he wasn't ready to go. But overall, he seems pretty fine. They did put him in the sling, but he doesn't have it on all the time, it seems. So
which, if anything, is a good sign, but at the same time, he should be trying to make the most of the time that he can have it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just so it can heal fast.
It's gonna be just fine, and I don't think it's gonna hold him back beyond this episode, really. But it happened. That was another medical thing in this episode.
Yeah, so that was the guy's third appearance. I was the medic getting a lot of screen time.
The medic had so much work on this episode.
I was literally saying during the episode, like, I hope this guy got a bonus for this episode.
Yeah.
You know what we need to do? We need to listen to Jeff's podcast.
We do. Maybe
His behind the scenes on
maybe
production.
we'll listen to that and see if we can make a bonus episode out of it or something. But
yeah,
we'll listen to the podcast at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Also, I'm beginning to think that the reason he started up this podcast is so he could just talk about this episode.
I will say, from what I've seen on like online and stuff, Jeff is very hyped about this season. So I wouldn't be surprised if the podcast came to that. He just wanted to do more.
Yeah. He just wanted to info dump about his favorite season.
Yeah. Anyways. So yeah, is there anything else we need to mention before the immunity challenge?
Nope, I don't think so. I think we've pretty much got everything.
Okay, yeah.
Who were the sit-outs? It was Matthew and what was the
from
Claire.
Yeah, and we'll get to it soon, but I will say this challenge is Claire's main screen time in the whole episode. So
yeah, we didn't hear a lot from her otherwise.
Yeah. The challenge, it's like they have to go out in these boats, unlock their treasure chest or something, and it's a really heavy chest, and they have to bring it up from the ocean, and they have to drag it on a track, then get puzzle pieces out of it. Wait, no. They had to get a key out of it, and then use that key to unlock a giant slide puzzle, which then the rest of the tribe would do it as one member guided them on. I mean, there wasn't too much significant in this challenge-wise. Do you have anything you want to say about like the challenge part?
Not really.
There are like two big events I can think of from this.
Yes, I'm thinking of the same two events.
First of all, Green Tribe, Soka, they killed it. They were doing great the whole time.
They are very strong physically.
Yeah, but
they've got some pretty strong people on their tribe. Like obviously they've got firefighter Danny. Josh, we've seen him with his shirt off. He's got a big old 6-pack going on.
He's one of the ultra people, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and then we've got like Heidi as well. She said she was small but mighty or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're a pretty nice physical tribe there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, those blocks are really heavy, and they're all putting a lot of effort in. And do you want to tell what happened?
Yeah.
Next?
So then Brandon's kind of like, he was really going all out. So Brandon starts kind of, slowing down a little, let's say, and then he kind of like, I don't want to say collapses because he didn't. He kind of like was just staggering a little, and struggling to hold himself up. So, they're aware it's a hot day, and Jeff kind of goes, we need medical. So our new best friend at this point, the medical guy, comes back out, and he definitely needs a bonus by this point. And they have a look at Brandon. It seemed like some sort of like heat stroke thing going on, so he just got a bit hot. Yeah. So he just stayed in the shade, had some water.
Drank water, had an IV, and the key thing, they decided they could continue the challenge, but he wouldn't be good to go until after the challenge.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, do you want to tell us the next big
I'm thinking because we were saying almost what's the guy's name? Matthew. We were saying like, oh, maybe they should swap him for Matthew. And at the time I said that wouldn't be fair. Thinking now, to make it fair, what if they just taken a tribe member off the other two tribes?
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
could they have done that?
They could have. They make the rules, but
yeah. But do you think that would have been a good idea if they'd done that? Because I guess there's a whole precedent thing. Like, you don't want people like it to become a Survivor thing where people wear themselves out to the point of exhaustion, knowing, well, if I have to drop out the challenge, the other tribes have to drop someone too.
Yeah.
We don't want that. I don't think that's likely to happen. I guess it makes sense.
With it happening live like that, I think they just decided, let's keep going. If they had more time to think about it, maybe that would have been a possibility.
Yeah.
But
yeah. But I think it was fair how they did it. He obviously wasn't fit to continue, so rather than just calling it there, they at least let the Ratu tribe carry on. So anyway, I think it was just after that we got our next big moment in the challenge. If you wanna.
Oh sure, yeah. So Orange Matt and Claire from the Green Tribe are the Sadouts. Matt's like cheering, and Claire just starts whispering like, "Hey, hey,
She's like,
excuse
excuse
me,
me?
hey." It takes a bit, but he looks over, and she asks him what their person did for what they told them for the summit, and he told her what Lauren said, that like she lost her vote and everything, and then Claire's like, Matt came back with the actual paper. So
Dun, dun, dun.
yeah, and then they also said that like they're cool with each other now, those two. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was really the biggest part of the challenge. The challenge itself wasn't too crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
No, exactly. It was a pretty good win by Soka.
yeah,
Tika kind of came in second almost by
hmm
default.
yeah,
Um, and then Ratu obviously did end up at Tribal after
hmm
Brandon's DNF, let's say. But Brandon did seem pretty good after that. You know, he just got up and
yeah.
carried on.
And I
Um,
will add for Brandon's like he did like I think maybe the day before or 2 days, but I'm not sure when all this went down, but he did do the coconut thing. So
mm,
like you, it's definitely fair for him to
yeah,
be out
I
a
had
little
actually
bit.
forgotten about
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
Orange Tribe's that tribal. This this is what made the episode crazy. um. So yeah, they're going to tribal, and
So they get back to camp,
mhm,
and Brandon's kind of apologetic. You know, he's like, I'm sorry, guys. And they were all really nice about it. They were like, you know, we could all tell you were really giving everything. You know, don't blame yourself. It's a
mhm,
very kind response. They all kind of slightly split up, and that's when Matthew drops the bomb,
mhm.
so to speak. And he's like, so Lauren lied to us. He basically tells them what he heard from
From
Claire
Claire.
during the challenge, and basically says that like she's been playing us.
Mhm,
So basically then the entire tribe is like, we'll just vote out Lauren then.
mhm.
Easy. They all nod, they all smile. Nothing is easy in Survivor. um yeah, other plans were made.
Yeah. Um, so pretty soon after that, Maddie's going up to like Lauren and then Jamie Lynn and eventually everyone, and she's like, "Oh, Brandon has this idol. He's playing us. He's playing all of us." That I love. That was like a cool key word there. Like Lauren's playing us, Brandon's playing us. But yeah, Maddie
Maddie
wanted
is
Brandon
playing
out.
us.
And yeah, Brandon was like, "Huh, Maddie's playing us." But then Jamie Lynn's freaking out because meanwhile Jamie Lynn's like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna use my shot in the dark for no reason."
She
She was
was
just
so random for that
she was
one. She
just
was just like, yeah, I'm
nervous.
just gonna. And honestly, I understand I would be nervous too, but
No,
there are
yeah,
times
like
to play your shot in the dark and there's times to not.
obviously playing Survivor in real life is there's so much like pressure. You only get one shot. There's of course there's gonna be
Yeah,
pressure with that. So I get how you could be paranoid. With
yeah,
that being said, Jamie Lynn had been told two names by that point, none of which were hers,
yeah.
which is a pretty good indicator that you're safe. Like, I feel like you would hear one decoy name.
And there was no reason for anyone to go for her as well. Like, even
Hmm
if she at least hears her name come up as like the faintest whisper from someone, then she could be justified in playing it.
hmm
But she didn't hear her name once. No one even
Yeah.
mentioned her. She was
hmm
like the least main character of everyone there.
hmm
Because like Brandon had his situation during the challenge and had an idol.
hmm
Matthew had an injury. Maddie was pushing Brandon, and Lauren had been caught lying.
hmm
So basically, everyone had a reason. I think everyone did. I
Except
forget
for
some.
Kane. Kane was just
Except for Kane, yeah.
chilling this
Well,
episode.
Jamie and Kane were the two that didn't have any reason for anyone to
Jamie
go for them. But
basically
then
didn't.
Jamie, yeah.
Yeah.
And she basically threw her own name out there by saying she's playing her shot in the dark. So then Kane is just the only one like, well.
hmm So yeah, but the thing is, at this point, Maddie has pretty much everyone convinced to vote Brandon. It was looking like it would be a unanimous vote, basically. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, all this is going down. they go to tribal and they just do,
But they tell Matthew, which is what
yeah, no,
baffled
they
me.
tell everyone.
Why did they tell everyone? That's not much of a blind side.
No, I don't. Well, they didn't tell Brandon, and
No,
yeah,
but they told Matthew, which is may as well tell Brandon. 'Cause they surely should have known those guys spent 4 hours dragging coconuts together. You know?
But yeah, the thing with Matthew was he was even saying like, I don't think I have a choice. The numbers are on Brandon, and he was probably ready to vote Brandon. But then they go to tribal, and you know they have a typical first tribal where just like, oh, how are you doing? This is probably tough to vote someone off here, and then a few of them are like, oh, I know what's going on. I know what's going on, and then Jeff's like, it's time to vote. But then Jamie's just got this look in her eyes or something like that. Because Jeff's like, Jamie, do you have
She
anything
like
to
half
say?
opened her mouth. Like
Yeah.
And then she's like, yeah, I'm gonna play my shot in the dark. And me and you, we were just sat there with our heads in our hands. We were like, no, Jamie. She had her funny little cube on her.
And something to be clear, you don't have to announce you're playing your shot in the dark. She chose to do that.
Yeah.
She said, my vote's not gonna matter, so I'm gonna play my shot in the dark, and if people told me what they told me, then
Which
this
made
should go to
things
fine
worse,
anyways.
because that's basically telling Brandon he's gonna get blindsided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're like, okay, well, Brandon's probably gonna play his Evo right now. But even more, we get to the voting booth, and as expected, Jamie Lynn plays her shot in the dark, so she loses her vote. But then we kind of expected Lauren to do this, but she did decide to play her bank a vote thing, so she didn't have a vote.
Yeah.
Then
so that's
Jeff,
two votes down.
Yeah, it's 2 votes down. There are 4 votes left. Brandon, Kane, Matthew, and Maddie all had votes as far as we knew, which would put it. We expected 3-1 on Brandon. But then we get to Jeff saying, "Hey, does anyone have anything to play?" And
obviously, our girl Jamie.
But then Matthew's like, "I played mine too."
Is her name Jamie or Jamie Lynn? Sorry.
It is. It is Jamie. I don't know why I thought her interviews definitely said Jamie Lynn. Her full name is Jamie Lynn Ruiz, so it is like.
Yeah,
Jamie.
But why would they middle name her? Yeah, maybe her name is Jamie. I don't know.
Wiki says Jamie, so we'll go with Jamie.
Okay.
Jamie plays her thing. Matt plays his thing. Lauren had played her thing, and they don't know that. I guess they still thought she had a vote.
Yeah. No, but she did kind of tell them she'd lost her vote, right?
Mm-hmm. She told them that, but also they found out she was a liar. So I don't know what they expected. So at that point, we knew Maddie would be voting Brandon. We didn't really know who Brandon was voting for because at that point they had just said Lauren. But he kind of mentioned, he's like, you know, Maddie's really against me in this game. I could vote out Maddie.
Yeah, and they kind of were seen like all chatting as well.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, and Kane also had a vote. But then Brandon decides to play his idol on himself. Which
I kind of initially was like, no, don't play it now. But then actually it did turn out to be the right move.
Mm-hmm.
So one last vote left, which came from Brandon. Because the 2 votes from Maddie and Kane went on Brandon, did not count. Yep. So Brandon voted Maddie. 1 vote. First person voted out, or I guess second person eliminated.
Voted out. Technically, Bruce wasn't voted out. But,
yeah. So she was voted out. Devastating scenes because I was really liking Maddie. She could have been such a good player. Like, I would love to see her back for a redemption because, like, she was ready to go hard. Yeah, 100%.
It was brutal. Like, because even at that point, I didn't really want Lauren to go either because she was playing, like, a really villain game.
No, exactly. It's such a good tribe. Like, everyone has... It's a good cast again. They've really been getting it with the cast lately. But yeah, it was Maddie especially I think was one of my favorites on that tribe. Like she was so smart. She still to this moment, I'm gonna say like 10 minutes after watching however long this has been going for now, maybe an hour after getting to see this woman on my screens, like She did nothing wrong. She did
Yeah.
nothing wrong. Like with most players, you can kind of pinpoint where their game fell apart and why that was their fault.
I want to
Maddie
say
did nothing. She was right to target Brandon because he'd already like burnt the bridge with her.
I want to say the only thing she could have done better. Yes, Brandon needed to go, but with the numbers there, I feel like she could have tried to split the vote on someone else, like maybe Matthew or something like that. Because
Yeah,
the fact
but then
that
Jamie
everyone
still
knows
would have
yes,
panicked.
yeah, no, it wouldn't have worked. I mean, unless if she got her and Kane to split, but like even then she might have still gone. But yeah, no, that was a very chaotic trial. There's not much she could have done if anything. She deserves better.
Yeah,
And
and
yeah,
even
it
then, like
sucked to see
Matthew
her go
played
like
his
that.
shot in the dark.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
maybe that's why he played it. Maybe he was thinking like if Brandon plays his idol and they've split,
Yeah,
that
possibly.
makes sense for the logic. But yeah, she really didn't do anything wrong in my opinion.
She
Like the main
definitely
mistake I
didn't
saw,
deserve to go.
yeah, Jamie being paranoid obviously kind of threw her under the bus a bit. Lauren, I don't know how she got away with that. Um, and then yeah, I think it was just whoever went and told Matthew about this plan probably is how it got back to Brandon.
Hmm. I
Um,
don't think it
so yeah,
necessarily even got back to Brandon. I mean, Brandon had an idea, but
yeah,
I don't think Brandon was gonna play the idol until like Jamie Lynn pulled her move, then Matthew played his
yeah,
move, and he's like, well, there aren't
yeah.
because
He
like
was like,
Matthew
"There's
was someone.
something going on."
I bet Matthew was even someone he was like sure was voting with him as the thing too. So
Mm,
like if you're losing that, then yeah.
yeah, so he did make the right call in playing his
Hmm.
idol, but yeah, justice for Maddie. Like,
Yeah,
we've been
but
getting such good first boots lately.
hmm
Like the first boot has been really strong. Like we had Mariah last time.
hmm
She was someone I really wanted
a
to see
lot
more
of
of. I
wrong
don't
place,
know.
wrong time.
Yeah. Like Mariah, I really would have wanted to see her play, but less that she was like a strategic threat, just more that she was a good character, like a good
Hmm.
personality.
Yeah.
Maddie, I feel like not that she doesn't have personality, because she did seem to have that too, but like strategy wise, I feel like she knew exactly
She could have
where
done so well.
she could have. She
Like, imagine putting her on season 43 or something like that. Or, like,
Mm,
if she was on another cast, she makes it so much farther, I imagine. And it
yeah.
sucks how it turned out. Very
Jeff, I
good
know
episode,
you're
though.
listening. Jeff, bring Maddie back.
Yeah.
Please. We need her.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Even Bruce at this
I'm a
point,
big yeah, no,
Bruce
for
was a better
sure.
character than I expected, and I it sucked how he went out.
He
Um,
definitely would be good on second chances because he's got a really good
yeah.
story.
Hmm.
Because like you could tell it meant a lot to him as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he was really he accepted that he was being gonna be medevac when he was, but he was really upset.
Can players say no? Like
No,
I guess they can't
no,
really, but
they cannot. If they're like you medically need to, some of like a few of them they're like I don't want to go as they're like half conscious, but like no, they don't get a choice in that.
he went willingly.
Yeah.
It's like, are you gonna go willingly or unwillingly? And he went
Ultimately, all of
willingly.
them know that like they don't have a better choice. They don't
Yeah.
have a choice, and this is
And
how
I
it's
know
gonna
it's what's
go.
for the best, but it's yeah.
Hmm. And being
Ah,
medevaced is a terrible way to go, but you can also
yeah.
say like you were never voted out. You know, like you did
Yeah. And
everything.
like
You put
yeah.
everything out there. Like,
Yeah.
oh
Who
gosh,
knows? You could have been the winner. Like that's the thing as well. Being medevac, there's probably only like a handful of people it's
that's the
happened
thing.
to. Like
Season
he's forever gonna be known, you
there,
know?
there's a season where someone got medevac the first episode, and if that person wasn't medevac, it's possible the winner was voted out. Like there was a decent chance the
Wow.
winner was gonna go. So I don't want to
That's
give you
kind of
any
similar.
spoilers, but like,
I know it's not the same, but Marianne, 42.
yeah,
I know it's not the same, but that guy,
Jackson,
Jackson, yeah,
mhm,
Jackson was um
he was
medevac,
medevac.
I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah,
Kind, it was his
he
was
was pulled
weird.
from the game.
Yeah,
Um, and you know, who knows what would have happened if he hadn't got taken from the
yeah,
game
who
because
knows?
at one point there was a very serious discussion about should we get rid of Marianne
Hmm.
with her slightly larger than life personality, let's say, was rubbing some of them the wrong way. In the end, they did choose to keep her, but who knows if there had been one extra person in the mix, maybe things would have been different. So it is really interesting, and I almost wish we could go through like the Survivor parallel universes to see like what would have happened. Like if Brandon hadn't played his idol and Maddie stayed, like would she go on to win, or like what are the conditions needed for each player to win from where they started? If that makes. I don't know. It's interesting to think about.
Interesting, yeah.
When they invent the multiverse, I'm gonna put Survivor into it.
Totally.
Yeah. I don't think I have much more to add on this episode, to be honest.
2 people gone in one episode. Not sure if they were planning that. Not sure what was gonna happen, but something. Let's talk about our draft a bit while we're here, because we lost 2 people this episode. So looking at the first impression draft, Bruce was medevaced, which means you do lose him from that. Oh, you've also got Brandon and Heidi. I can give you the link. So yeah, lost Brandon. Not lost Brandon, lost Bruce.
Honestly, what was I thinking?
Hey, it's not like he played bad or anything. Like he didn't.
Yeah, but like, oh no.
Yeah. Lucy, for our cast assessment draft, you lost Maddie too. You took some hits.
No. This is like the opposite of last time. Oh no, not Maddie. No.
No, that was, yeah, I mean.
Damn.
Yeah. So yeah, those are our drafts.
My girl.
Something we didn't do for 43 that I think could be cool, and I thought of it during the recording of this episode. If you had to like pick a like a, what do they call it? Not maybe power ranking or something, like who do you think is playing the best right now?
Ooh. The best, like, as a player.
Best player overall of the entire 16 people left.
Ooh.
Or like player
Matt
of the episode
is playing a good game. Matt is definitely up there. No. Yeah, Green Matt, sorry. Yeah, I'd say Matt or Matthew.
I know Matt or Matthew. I like Green Matt and Orange Matt, but
I would have said Maddie actually, which kind of sucks.
Maddie is one of the MVPs for that episode. But
yeah. I think Helen looks to be in quite a strong position. Again, it's hard to say if someone's a player of the episode, but I would say like power positions. I'd definitely say like Helen seems like someone who kind of approachable. She's easy to get on with. I would be her friend.
Here, Lucy, power rankings.
Yeah, sorry.
The kind of rankings. One from each tribe. Who's in the best position? Go for it.
Cool. Like just the top one per tribe?
Yep, one per tribe.
Okay. Ratu, I'm gonna say Kane. Okay. Because he's done nothing wrong. I feel like he could get anyone on side. And I'm gonna say at the bottom of the power rank, I'm gonna do a top and bottom. Sure. Say bottom is probably Lauren.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I think Brandon and Matthew have each other. Jamie had her paranoid moment, but I think that's going to lower her threat level. They're all going to think, oh, she's a bit silly. Yeah. They're not going to see her as a big threat. Kane is Kane. I think, everyone's going to get on well with Kane. And Lauren obviously was caught lying. So that's, I'd say for her, she's at the bottom. Soka tribe. Wait, do you want to share your Ratu tribe?
Sure, I'll do my Ratu. Yeah. Yeah. For top, I would go with... Now that you mentioned it, I think I will go Kane. Kane is he's just in a good spot right now. I don't think anyone wants him out, and I think he can do whatever he wants to get away with it. As for bottom, my gut says Lauren, just because, again, she got caught lying, but I think Brandon could also be there, because Lauren does have that extra vote now, and they were all ready to vote Brandon out. But also, he doesn't have his idol anymore, So yeah, I'm gonna go with Lauren. Same as you. All right.
Yeah. So, Soka, next up. Do you want to go first for this one?
Sure. Yeah. Top, I would say we didn't see a lot of Soka because they're just
We
winning
didn't.
everything. But I'll say Matt because I think he had a good bond with Franny, and otherwise he's very honest with them. I don't think they distrust him or
Yeah.
anything. For
Yeah.
bottom, I mean Claire, I guess. We really did not see much of the Green Tribe, and I hope we see more. But yeah.
No, we will for sure. I'm actually going to say the exact same as you. I'm going to say Matt as the most power position right now, and Claire bottom.
Although
just because
Claire gets some credit for that move at the challenge, I'll say.
No, absolutely, but that doesn't give her power in her own tribe.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my opinion, and then I guess moving to Tika. Most powerful, I'm gonna say Helen. Least powerful, I'm probably gonna say Carolyn.
Oh yeah. I'm actually gonna disagree with you. Most powerful. Oh, sorry. Did you want to say your reasoning first?
You
kind of did.
I guess.
Yeah.
I kind of already did. Yeah. Carolyn's kind of obvious. You know, she's explicitly said she's been struggling to chat with people. She doesn't want to follow them around. I relate. Helen, I just feel like she's a very approachable person. She's got on well with everyone. You know, she was the person Carolyn tried to go to try and say like, oh look, I'm kind of feeling a bit not like anyone's talking to me. So, you know, she's not a big personality like Yam Yam. Like she's not really loud. Not that he's that loud, but you know, he's very like fun spirited. I think Helen is a little more focused. You know, she's bonded well with Carson because she got her head in the game with the Savvy. So generally, I think she's a pretty strong player there. So yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
So
you disagree, apparently.
I do disagree. I think Sarah is in the power position on Tika.
Okay.
Just because she's got that advantage, and I think her, Carson, and Helen are the group of three, kind of, which means they have majority. And oh well, Sarah did actually lose her vote, so that could be interesting. But and then I will.
Does the vote loss still count though if they have the advantage? Because technically, Lauren didn't not lose her vote because she was able to.
Well, Lauren got
the
vote. Yeah, but Sarah, I feel like Sarah still lost a vote.
I guess we'll find out. But either way, it's in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to be that big a deal.
No, yeah. Well, okay. I mean, to be fair, if those are the divides on the purple tribe and they go to tribal council, that's 2 versus 2, and
true.
So it could actually be pretty significant because Sarah's advantage that doesn't help her unless someone else plays something. Yeah, I'd say Sarah is just in a better position there. I feel like if she wanted, she could also be in the middle. But really, I'm only saying that because she has that advantage. So to be fair, I do think her, Helen, and Carson are pretty equal. I think Carolyn will be the first to go if they go to tribal. She hasn't been helpful with challenges.
No, but I like her. But I like her. Did we even draft her? I don't think we didn't.
We didn't draft her or Jamie Lynn, and I'm feeling pretty good about the people we didn't draft. So.
Yeah,
Even
but at the same time,
they are both still in the game, and
100%. And we were feeling the same about Gabler.
I am 90% confident that neither Carolyn or Jamie will win the game.
We said that about Gabler.
I know
we were literally there, like we were so smart for not picking Gabler.
If you haven't heard our Gabler deep dive, go watch that. But I will say the thing about Gabler, I think he was better socially than both Carolyn and Jamie are. Gabler hasn't done anything out of pure paranoia. When he played. Which Carolyn hasn't.
I mean, he kind of did actually. Gabler did have his "I'm gonna play my shot in the dark" moment, but then he didn't.
But that was
he didn't in the end.
In the challenge, and he was thinking he was just gonna sacrifice himself anyways. So I think Gabler did. Gabler is better than both Carolyn and Jamie, I'd say, as of now. Obviously, there's a lot of game left to be played, and maybe they could prove me wrong. Maybe they'll be the top 2. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if one of them did get taken to the final 3. as like a no vote sort of thing. But again, it's way
Yeah.
too early to know this for anything. So anything
Mm.
can happen yet. Um, yeah, that's. We did our power rankings. I don't have anything else special that we'd want to do. Did you have anything else to say about the episode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No. I thought you were gonna be like, you have anything else to add? I mean,
Do you
yeah.
have anything? Yeah, that still doesn't.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
No, I don't have anything else to add other than really enjoyed the episode. Very excited for this season.
yeah.
Uh,
This is gonna be a brutal season.
yeah.
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 All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's wrap it up then. Thank you for listening to Reality Check, the podcast for all things reality. Come back for new episodes every Friday, and if you enjoy Reality Check, subscribe to Open Mic Podcast on YouTube or follow Reality Check on Spotify.